We are back. How are we doing? So I do want to let you guys know before we start, with all these new mega evolutions, with these new abilities, I'm going to be doing most of my like day-to-day coverage on Pokemon Champion stuff on this channel now, rather than the main channel. I want to focus on making really good, high-quality, like viral-ish videos on the main channel. So you guys will still enjoy those, but I'm going to focus on doing the day-to-day grind on Moxie Boosted's gym. But yeah, let's go ahead and get into it. Make sure you leave a like, subscribe. We have new Mega abilities. We already knew about Mega Raichu X and Mega Raichu Y getting Electric Surge and No Guard. What I want to focus on today is all the new ones, which luckily are highlighted for us, and talk about how competitively relevant these Pokemon are. So, along with that, we also have the list of new Pokemon in Regulation MB. It's mostly Mega Pokemon, of course, their base forms, and a couple of weird decisions to add. They added the 3 main ghost types from Pokemon Scarlet Violet. They added Grimmsnarl, Overquill, and Musharna. Okay. Oh, and Vileplume's here. Yeah, man. Anyways, we're going to talk about this. I'm going to talk about the competitive relevance of these Pokemon in MB. My hair looks awful today. I'm sorry. I just woke up. I've been playing. I was streaming last night. We'll be streaming again later today. But yeah, we'll start off with this, right? The Mega Raichus. We already know what's going on with these guys. But Mega Raichu X and Y, I'm going to switch to National Dex just to make it easier. National Dex. All right, there we go. All right, Mega Raichu X and Mega Raichu Y. These guys are fairly impressive. I did use Mega Raichu Y a little bit last night. I don't think I have like the perfected 6 for Mega Raichu Y, but I will say that Mega Raichu Y is fairly strong with Fake Out. An unmissable Zap Cannon means that it's paralyzing everything every single time. It can also run Focus Blast, which is quite strong as well. And then like final move, it's usually going to be Protect. That being said, it does have access to Nasty Plot, which is quite good, but I don't think you really want to click that with Raichu. I don't think it's like super useful. And yeah, I think broadly it's just kind of an okay Pokemon. It does have a really low defense stat, which leaves it vulnerable to being one-shot by King Gambit with Black Glass's Sucker Punch. I don't think that's good. I also think one of the better partners for it that might be a little bit underrated is Zarina. Zarina is a Pokemon which is able to block priority moves, but it's also not only a ground resist, but it has access to ice coverage in Triple Axle, meaning that it is capable of dealing with Garchomp and making sure that Raichu is safe against those sort of Pokemon. You can also make it so Raichu can't get faked out or Sucker Punched or anything. So I think it's like a good combo, but Mega Raichu Y definitely seems a lot more situational. Also, Mega Raichu X. This one is a little bit more interesting. I have not played with it yet, but if I were a betting man, I would say you can't get terrain overwritten, so terrain's there for the whole game. That's nuts. That is nuts. I'm not a big fan of it being so frail. Like, I get that as 95 in both defenses, but with 60 HP, that's still pretty frail. And if you want to use Volt Tackle, yes, it's a very strong Volt Tackle. Yes, it is going to one-shot some Pokemon if you're on Adamant. Not all, you know, it's not that big of a buff. But it is coming off of base 60 HP, so you're going to be, like, KOing yourself a lot, especially if you hit an Incineroar. So I think that really what you want to do with this guy, which might be a little bit of a weird take, is I think Mixed Set isn't bad. You could just do the Rising Voltage set where you are a special attacker, right? And I think that's also good for you because, hey, guess what? You don't have to care. You don't really care about dealing with Incineroar as much anymore. You're not, like, you know, focused on it just being able to, let me do this. You're not focused on it having, like, the possibility of intimidating you. So if we go for, like, Raichu, right, give it the, is it still 90 special attack on that set? Come on. Rising Voltage. Yeah, it is 90 special attack. Let me adjust the damage calculator here. So we're going to give it a modest nature, give it access to electric terrain here, and we will give it max special attack and the move Rising Voltage, which doubles in power if the target's grounded. So you don't want to use this against Charizard because it's not going to one-shot Mega Charizard Y. You know, you're only doing 92% maximum, which does kind of suck, but that's why you run the mix set. You could honestly, you don't even really need Volt Tackle. You just do Thunder Punch, right? And Thunder Punch is coming off your higher physical attack stat. Oh, wait, maybe you do need to run Volt Tackle. Okay, well, you one-shot Charizard with Volt Tackle and take a lot of recoil. Whatever. into like an Incineroar, if it's a 2-shot, that's pretty worth it. Yeah, it is a 2-shot into Incineroar 55. And like you don't have to invest everything into special attack. You can just try to make it so it is like a pretty clean 2-shot. Into Sneasler, a Pokemon with pretty okay special bulk. Rising Voltage is just a straight up 1-shot. Yeah, I think that like special Mega Raichu X might be the call. It does suck that there's no seeds yet to take advantage of like partner Sneasler with seeds, but it is fine. Really the only like impactful items that got added were like the Life Orb. So yeah, beyond that, like the items are kind of whatever. All right, next up, Mega Staraptor. Man, Mega Staraptor is kind of insane. So Mega Staraptor, of course, in the base form has Intimidate, but it does have Contrary in its Mega form, which makes it so when you use a move that would lower your stats, or you get your stats lowered by any means, the opposite actually happens. Most notably with Close Combat, which is incredible since you're a fighting type now with 140 attack. Here's the thing, right? Mega Staraptor is probably going to want to be Jolly. You're going to want to run enough speed where you're outspeeding like Garchomp, which I believe you need to hit 170. That is like a lot. that's a lot of speed. Let me also switch to... I'm switching back to ZA, or... Yeah, I'm switching back to Champions. Just so it's level 50 again. You want to run like 170 speeds here, outspeeding Garchomp. You can honestly just max this out, put a little bit in like special defense, and I think like if you want a 2-shot, like a Charizard, you really just need 2 attack investment. And now what you can do with this thing is you run Tailwind, Protect, and Dual Wing Beat or Brave Bird, depending on what you want. This thing will be able to pair itself with a partner Incineroar and a Sinistcha. And some people have even been pairing it with like Whimsicott, right? But basically what you do is you just spam Close Combat, get solid damage across the board because it's a, 120 base power move coming off a 140 base attack. You have great bulk overall, and you just keep increasing the bulk every time you Close Combat. Use Incineroar and Sinistcha pivoting, where Hospitality and Intimidate will like not only lower the attack coming into you, but also be able to heal your HP on Staraptor, and just use that to keep it alive as long as possible while spamming Close Combat. You can't get intimidated because you're freaking Staraptor, and if you get intimidated, it goes up to +1. So it is like a really solid strategy right now. I don't think it's like the most broken Pokemon ever, but I would say this is arguably the most impactful Pokemon we've had from the new releases, other than like Metagross. Am I being weird if I say that? Yeah, I would say like other than Metagross, this is probably the best one that we just had released. But yeah, it's a real Pokemon. It hates facing off against Floette, obviously. So, come prepared. Bring like your anti-Floette tech. Probably, I don't know, Golden Go's not bad, but we'll talk about that later on. For now, I just want to talk about like the Mega forms. But yeah, Staraptor is like a real Pokemon now. You have to keep that in mind when you're logging on a ladder. You might actually face like the most annoying Staraptor to KO ever. This channel is partnered with GamerSupps. If you want to support my work and get great tasting drinks, you can order GamerSupps through my link in the description down below, or with code Moxie boosted at checkout for 10% off. GamerSupps is a caffeinated product that I recommend only to my 18+ viewers, but my link will send you to their caffeine-free product section just in case. Every product purchased through my link supports my channel financially, so I'd really appreciate the support. Now back to the video. Next up, we have Scolipede. Man, this one's disappointing. I thought it was going to get Merciless for sure, dude. No, it got Shell Armor. Shell Armor. It can't get crit. That's it. That's all that Scolipede does, is it can't be crit. What does it even do in VGC? I don't even know if it gets Body Press. Let me check. I just checked. It doesn't get Body Press. This guy doesn't get anything. He straight up doesn't get anything. I will check one thing. So it's 170 speed to outspeed Garchomp, right? Let me pull up the calculator. What is 170 divided by 1.5? Can you get there after one speed boost? That's 113. If Scolipede can hit 113, just barely can get there. Yeah, I mean, maybe Mega Scolipede can be somewhat useful. It does have like a good attack stat, and it has like very good physical defense, and honestly pretty passable special defense. You could make the argument that its best set is probably something along the lines of... Sorry, I'm opening freaking Champions on my phone. Does it keep First Impression? Does not keep First Impression. It keeps Swords Dance. It keeps a bunch of other stuff. You could make the argument that maybe its best set is Protect, Swords Dance, Rock Slide, and like Poison Jab. Is it good into Floette? Yeah, probably. You can go in Adamant Nature, probably run like enough to hit the bump, like 187, and then just put the rest in HP. Like, that's not that bad. It could be a lot worse than that. The only issue is that, like, I really just don't see how Scolipede really functions. You need to pair it with like a King Gambit to help stave off the chance that you just get annihilated by you know, an Intimidate. But also, like, that comes with the added issue of now you're like super weak to fire types, so now you need like a ground or a water type Pokemon. So here comes Garchomp, and it just begins to all feel very convoluted just to get Scolipede to function at all. I don't know. Shell Armor's cool. Maybe it'll be useful when Urshifu comes around. It is a good mega into Floette, so you can make the case that, like, it could be a secondary mega Pokemon. But as for finding a team that it works on, that's going to be the real challenge. So, yeah, maybe Scolipede is not the greatest. Now, Mega Scrafty, though. I do want to talk about Mega Scrafty. This guy, he's Potential Mon. Mega Scrafty might be new Potential Mon, because Mega Scrafty gets double Intimidate. How it works is Scrafty base form has Intimidate, right? Incredible. When you Mega Evolve, it also gets Intimidate, which means it intimidates twice. It has very good defenses, but not very good attack. And it lost Parting Shot. It also lost Parting Shot, which sucks. You could do like Fake Out, Knockoff. Does it even get Knockoff? That feels like the type of move they would get rid of it on. It's so nice that I can just reference my phone while I'm like making these videos now. Let's look at Scrafty. Did he get to keep Knockoff? Let's find out. Yes, it got to keep Knockoff. Okay, so you can make the case that, like, Scrafty, it's meant to be like a big Incineroar, which that's debatable. If I also don't even think it's like that good, because a double Intimidate, if you Mega Evolve in front of a King Gambit, congrats, it got +2, right? And it doesn't keep Parting Shot anymore, which is like a huge... That's really what was keeping it kind of okay, and I get why they got rid of it. The double Intimidate is like strong, and being able to Parting Shot and stuff is like cool. But it really doesn't do much. I guess you put Ice Punch as like a coverage move or like Protect, but it really just seems like a big Scrafty, and Scrafty on its own already wasn't incredible. You know, 90 attack, 115, 115. It just becomes big Scrafty, where now it's 130 attack, 135, 135. That's all that really changes. I guess it gets a little faster, but maybe Dragon Dance sets could be good. It doesn't have a lot of weaknesses, but that Fairy weakness is really bad, so you're gonna have to pair that with like a Steel type or something. Yeah, Scrafty is interesting, but not like incredible. I think it's definitely Potential Mon of like the new things that we got added. Mega Eelektross. Mega Eelektross has maybe the most interesting ability. So it's called Elevate. Elevate is the new ability, and what it does is this Pokemon floats off the ground, making it immune to ground type. It's just Levitate, right? It has Levitate, but with an extra thing added on. When this Pokemon knocks out the target with an attack, its highest stat is boosted by 1 stage. Effectively, it's as 1 Levitate. It has and the thing is, you can run it physical or special. Like, you can do either one. Whatever the highest stat is when you KO something, it gets that stat boosted. It's beast boost, right? Which is kind of nuts. That being said, because you can't play with IVs, you can't do speed boost or anything. The only 3 stats you can boost are attack, special attack, and funnily enough, special defense if you go Calm Nature. Because special defense has one more special defense has one more point than special attack. So you could do special defense boosting Mega Eelektross. Not that you'd ever really want to do that. Yeah, Mega Eelektross is fairly interesting. It doesn't have any weaknesses, which makes it like, you know, a Pokemon that could fit on a few different archetypes. And it is technically a Charizard answer in like the loosest form of the word. And that's mostly because it's able to not sit in on Charizard, but it's able to like one-shot Charizard, I would assume, with a physical move. But you put an Eelektross here, give it 145 and 135 in its offensive stats. 145, 135. I think you have to go physical to one-shot it. But yeah, it does get... Does it get Wild Charge? It does get Wild Charge, and I think it gets Thunder Punch. You don't want to run Supercell Slam, because if they Protect, you just get annihilated. But let's check. Does Thunder Punch even come close? I don't think it does. I think you have to Wild Charge, which really sucks, because this thing doesn't have the most incredible HP. 85 is good, right? It's not, like, incredible, though. But, yeah, if you go Max Attack, Adamant. Wild Charge does not pick up Sneasler, but into Charizard. It is, yeah, a pretty clean. Actually, wait, it one-shots a Thunder Punch. Oh, that's with Electric Train. Wait, but I'm not even affected by Electric Train, am I? Oh, yeah, that's without Electric Train. Cool. Yeah, it one-shots Charizard with Thunder Punch. You actually don't even need to do that. That being said, yeah, you have to be careful with, like, you know, you have to be careful with freaking Incineroar. But I believe it does get access to Ice Punch. I'm double-checking my reference here. Do you get Ice Punch, sir? No, he doesn't get Ice Punch. That's really disappointing. He gets a couple of good coverage moves. It's mostly like Fire, though. He does get Rock moves, so you could do like Rock Slide, Rock Tomb. But yeah, it is something that's able to sit in on an opposing Garchomp, and it does get Dragon Claw. If you go special, can you? I don't think you can still one-shot Charizard, though. Even though I would really like it if you can, because I think special is the better variant. So Modest Nature into Charizard, and we want to run Thunderbolt. Curious how much Electro Web does, because Electro would be nasty on this thing. And it does get Dragon Pulse, so we can run that to check the Garchomp calcs. Probably not a one-shot. Oh, okay, yeah, Max Special Attack Thunderbolt is a one-shot into non-bulky Zard, which is good. That means in the bulkier Zard, it is like a roll. Like, even if they're max HP, like, you still have a slight chance. But they're usually not. They're usually, like, what, like 18? Something like that. So it's like 50-50 if you one-shot. Yeah, I like that. I like that for it. It also has, like, a pretty okay speed stat, so you can invest this guy in such a way where it's like, okay, let's hit 112 speed, or let's hit 113 speed, so after, like, 2 Electro Webs, I'm outspeeding Aerodactyl. Because you can do, like, Electro Web, Thunderbolt. Honestly, I don't even know if you want to run Dragon Pulse. You can just run Flamethrower for like, King Gambit or something. I don't believe it gets a great special fighting move. It does get Focus Punch, which is not Focus Blast. Yeah, it's going to be an interesting mon. It gets Rock Slide, but it's going to be weird. I think its main claim to fame is just the fact that it can special attack boost every time it gets a KO, so it's going to be interesting. I think Electrob's fine. It's probably going to be a Tailwind mon, all things considered. So yeah, probably like 113 speed, max special attack, and then you just go Modest and give it a bunch of HP and kind of play it with like an Incineroar and like a bunch of good partner Pokemon. Yeah, man, I wish this thing got Ice Beam. It doesn't, though. But yeah, probably like Flamethrower or Dragon Pulse, one or the other. Interesting Pokemon. Next up, we have Mega Pyroar. Mega Pyroar is cool. That being said, it's not the strongest. So Mega Pyroar gets the ability Fire Mane, which is basically just, it's Dragon's Maw, but for Fire-type moves. So if you look at it, increases the power of Fire-type moves by 50%. The way that you would calc this is you take a Pyroar, right? You take a Pyroar, you give it max special attack, you give it Intimidate. It has 129 special attack, right? 129. Until they add this to the damage calc, we have to do it this way. 129 special attack, and I think that the way you're going to want to run this is... Oh my god, did my monitors just freak out? Hello? Okay, fixed it. My monitor lost power, and I had to, like, adjust that. But yeah, effectively the way you calc for this is you give it your typical moves. You give it Heat Wave, you give it Flamethrower, you give it Overheat, and you give it Fire Blast. I think there is a case for Fire Blast. It's not like the strongest case. And we're going to take the calculator. We're going to do 95 times 1.5 and round down. So 95 times 1.5, that means Heat Wave is a 142 base power move. That means that Flamethrower is a 135 base power move. That means that Overheat is a, what is that? That's 65, so 195 base power move. And Fire Blast is a 165 base power move. And that's how you calc for it. So into like a Charizard Y, we can see that Timid max special attack Overheat is actually doing pretty significant damage. Fire Blast is also a 2-hit KO. Heat Wave is not quite a 2-hit KO, but we're not calculating for that. Sneasler, right? Like, this is a Pokemon that it naturally outspeeds because of its high speed stat. It does have 126, which is really cool. Your Fire Blast is a one-shot into Sneasler, which is awesome. If Sun is active, your Heat Wave is a one-shot into Sneasler, which is awesome. So I think that, like, typically the way you'd run this kind of guy is literally just like you run Pyroar Whimsicott. The basic way I want to explain this is that Pyroar is the midpoint between Charizard and Mega Delphox, right? So if we look at these guys, right? Let's look at these guys. The way that you would kind of make the value judgment, is Charizard has the best damage output immediately of all these guys, but the lowest speed, meaning it's susceptible to being KO'd by faster Pokemon like, you know, a freaking Sneasler or a Garchomp. Delphox is the fastest of these with the lowest damage output. That being said, it still has access to Nasty Plot and is pretty defensively good because it has like Levitate. Pyroar is the middle ground, where you're choosing good damage output, like very good damage output, frankly, for a speed tier that is not quite Delphox, but not as slow as Charizard. I don't know if there's ever going to be a true use case for this Pokemon, but I do think it's not terribly hard to use. I really do just think it is a case of putting it next to Whimsicott, because Whimsicott does get access to Helping Hand and Sunny Day, and I think you just play it like that. It's you play it like Chandelure. You know, Chandelure is another Pokemon that like is like a strong fire type with like a really good special attack stat, but it's not out damaging Charizard, and it needs Chandelure next to it. It's an interesting mon. Like, I don't think Pyro is incredible, but it is a Pokemon that you could make a decent use case for if you really want to. I do like the fact that it doesn't need Sun to get these KOs, but it is like disappointing just how short it comes of certain KOs, right? I saw this the other day. Milotic, if we literally just run max, I get that's Milotic. Milotic is literally like special defense O'Toole, right? But if you're running like a modest Pyroar and you Helping Hand it and it's in Sun, Overheat's not KOing Milotic, right? But if you're running like a Charizard, if you're running a Charizard and it clicks Solar Beam, no Helping Hand, it's doing like about the same. Like it's not doing as much, right? You're not picking up the KO, but you're also not sacrificing your entire special attack stat to do it. So yeah, Pyro is interesting. I don't think it's incredible, but it is like a cool mon. It's a cool mon that can be used, is what I'll say about it. But yeah, the other Pokemon. What else got added? Mega Malamar. Okay, Mega Malamar. It's Mega Malamar and the rest of these guys. Mega Malamar is exactly what we thought it was going to be. It is the contrary Mega. It has good special defense, right? I don't even know if you run it on Trick Room. I think that you literally just hit the Tailwind number for this game, which is 113, and you do the superpower. You do the superpower, you do the knockoff, and that's it. Like, let me see what moves Mega Malamar even learns. I'm consulting the phone. Consulting the phone, because that's an option now. All right, train Pokemon. Yeah, I mean, like, the speed increase is nice. It has, like, pretty good bulk. It does suck that it has literally no resistances and, like, some pretty bad weaknesses, but, or does it have no resistances? I don't know. I don't want to check. But yeah. As for moves, obviously, you know, super hard knockoff. It gets Poison Jab, which could be useful. And beyond that, it's kind of like nothing. It's kind of like, wait, does it even get knockoff? Yeah, it does get knockoff. I guess you run Cycle Cut if you really want to. And then it gets like some interesting coverage moves like Liquidation. It really depends. Does it get Rock Slide? It does get Rock Slide. Actually, Rock Slide in the Charizard meta, you run Rock Slide. I don't think Mega Malamar's all that bad. I don't think it's all that bad, right? But it does require so much work to get going. Definitely going to be like an Adamant Mon. You hit the number. 140... What's the number in Malamar's case? 1, 2, 4. Okay, 18. And then just special defense. It's probably pretty hard to KO at that point. You definitely want it with a Sinistcha. That's definitely the case. But as far as like contrary mons go, it's definitely going to be Mega Staraptor's game this time around. Mega Barbaracle. That thing got Tough Claws. It got Tough Claws. I don't think it's that bad. It's going to be a singles demon, I can tell you that much. But Mega Barbaracle is a Pokemon that has really impressive stats overall. Rock Fighting isn't that bad of a typing, especially offensively. It's like one of the best typings offensively, but like defensively, it's a little bit more underwhelming. As for moves that it gets, does it keep Shell Smash? I'm checking right now. Shell Smash. It kept Shell Smash, which is good. So it's probably just going to be... You almost play it like a physical Blastoise. Shell Smash, Rock Slide, Close Combat, Protect. That's my take. It does get some other helpful moves like Helping Hand. It gets like water coverage. It gets poison coverage. It gets like ground. It even gets ice moves, right? But its special attack set isn't that good. I really don't think it's going to be strong. I don't think it's going to be strong. I don't even think it gets wide guard, right? If it got wide guard, it'd be pretty useful, but it doesn't get wide guard. So this is going to be the most mid-tier like mega, I think, of the entire bunch. I don't even want to like theory craft a team around it just yet. When I get around to it, I'll get around to it. But yeah, Dragalge. I was scared for this one because when we had the data mine come out, they mentioned that an ability got added to the game and it was Tangling Hair. And I'm like, oh my god, the only mon that makes sense getting Tangling Hair is Dragalge. But apparently it was something else. I don't know what. Yeah, Mega Dragalge, 65 HP, 105 defense, 132 special attack, 163 special defense. I was dooming about this thing because I thought it was just going to be worse than base Dragalge. You know, if it didn't get a good ability, it would just be worse than base Dragalge, but it has a good special attack set now, and beyond that, it also has like the ability to recover health every time it switches out. So it is fairly useful, and it's also like good-ish into Mega Floette because it has such great special defense. So if we take Dragalge here, Dragalge, Mega Dragalge, and I don't know why I've been just adjusting the stats manually. I didn't realize I could just do that. All right, and go to Floette. 32 Timid Floette. That's kind of standard right now. No investment. You tank the Light of Ruin. That's already a great start. You're going to be running max HP like 99% of the time in Dragalge. You eat the Light of Ruin really well. Modest. You have Sludge Bomb. Sludge Bomb. It's not quite a KO. Pretty sure you're still out damaged by base Dragalge. If you go in like 32, it's also not a KO. It's going to be fine. It gets some coverage moves. Like, it gets Thunderbolt. I think it might get Ice Beam. Yeah, it does get Ice. It gets Icy Wind, not Ice Beam. That's a little bit disappointing. It feels pretty underwhelming. I'm thinking that this is a Pokemon that won't be as useful until... it won't be as useful until we get, like, Rillaboom in the game, where it's, like, a hard Rillaboom check. Honestly, like, Dragalge is really good into, like, Rillaboom, Urshifu, and Incineroar. So when that comes around, like, that's going to be a thing. But as of right now, like, Mega Dragalge, it really just is, like, the... switch out, switch in, try to like survive and get KOs where you can Pokemon, but it's not really anything special. Its longevity isn't incredible. Maybe like Toxic Spikes or something. I think it's gonna be fine, but it's like it's definitely gonna be like in the same tier of usefulness as like Mega Altaria is my take. Finally, Mega Phalanx. This guy's interesting. It's just a big Phalanx. Defiant, it keeps that ability. Yeah, I mean like 135, 135. I used this on stream the other day and it wasn't that bad. It really wasn't. It just wasn't super strong. Mega Phalanx can hit the speed tier you need it to. It's 149, which I believe is 30 speed investment. 149 lets you outspeed Mega Aerodactyl after you get the boost from your move. But yeah, I believe I just hit Adamant. I hit like one of the bigger bumps, like 25 or something. Yeah, 25. And then I just dumped the rest into HP. And I just played it like that. It was just no retreat, close combat, rock slide. And that actually did pretty good work. It's a rock slide at +1 coming off a 135 base attack. And it is pretty difficult to KO because it does have not great special defense, but like good physical bulk all around. So like into a Pokemon like Garchomp, you know, at +1, that defense, pretty respectable. Earthquake's doing 28%, Dragon Claw's doing 31%. Your close combat is one-shotting Garchomp, I think. Yeah, it's a one-shotting Garchomp. You have to be a little bit careful, but Rock Slide's also pretty respectable damage if you're facing like a Sylveon Slang with like not great physical defense, but is still a neutral hit. Rock Slide's like a 3-hit KO. You can have like the option to flinch them if you're feeling good. I ran it with Sinistcha because I think the redirection was good. I think Sinistcha is eating very good this meta. I think most of the Mega Pokemon really love Sinistcha. Like if we're really taking a look at which Mega Pokemon want Sinistcha, you can make the case for both the Raichus. Staraptor is like the Sinistcha demon right now. Eelektross loves Sinistcha. Mega Malamar definitely needs Sinistcha, and like Phalanx needs Sinistcha. We definitely got like the B team of new Mega Pokemon, but I think overall this was an interesting update as far as those go. Those are just my initial thoughts, though. I'll be uploading battles to this channel every day going forward. But yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. If you enjoyed, leave a like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.